I would like to invite Mr. Bill Clinton, former President of the United States of America, to say a word of farewell.
Micah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. Thank you to Peter, Walter, Helmut's family, to the leaders of Europe and the European Union, Chancellor Merkel, President Macron, other prime ministers and officials who are here. I ask you to think about something not in my notes. I was looking around this crowd today at all of us who used to be in office, all of us who came. Why? Because Helmut Kohl gave us the chance to be involved in something bigger than ourselves, bigger than our terms of office, bigger than our fleeting careers, because all of us, sooner or later, will be in a coffin like that. And the only gift we can leave behind is a better future for our children and the freedom to make their own choices, including their own mistakes. I loved him. Hillary said I loved him because he was the only person with a bigger appetite for food than I have. He came to Washington so much, once he took me to his favorite restaurant in the capital of my country, Philomena. It's still there. I recommend it to you. Why am I saying this? Because the 21st century in Europe, as you see, really began on his watch. Because he had really 5 big questions to answer, which all have ramifications today. And because of the answers he gave, we're here. Should there be a real united Germany after the Berlin Wall fell? What does it mean? How much will it cost? It'll be a real pain. But we are one people and one country, and we should undergo the dislocation and difficulty. Even in his case, if it cost him an election, because it took longer to lift the East than could have been predicted. Should there be a real European Union? And should it be expanded so that Germany will never again be on the edge of Europe, a source of dislocation and war? The Poles, the Hungarians, the Czechs, the others. Can we do this together? Should Germany, so long distrusted by its neighbors, take an aggressive posture to end the slaughter in Bosnia, supporting NATO's first intervention outside the member nations, and the first deployment of German forces outside of its own country since the end of World War II. After all the carnage of the war, finally the Berlin Wall falls. Should you just heave a sigh of relief or recognize that this has been a terrible experience for Russia and reach out a hand of friendship accompanied by a check and give me the chance to do the same? Should NATO be preserved or scrapped? There are a lot of people who thought it should be scrapped, and instead expanded, not as a threat, but as a promise, with a special set of partnerships that included both Russia and Ukraine to guarantee the territorial integrity and cooperation of people in the future. These were really big questions. It sounds so easy now, and you say not only was it easy, but look how reality has intervened. Look how different things are now. You may think all of us who grow gray look doddering in the face of current realities, but there are no permanent victories or defeats in politics. What matters most is what drives us. I love this guy because his appetites went far beyond food. Because he wanted to create a world in which no one dominated. A world in which cooperation was better than conflict, in which diverse groups make better decisions than individual dictators, in which young people would be free to say that in our time we were wrong. At least what we did is not enough for now. Nothing captured this more than his willingness to violate the enormous weight of German culture and history and the contribution it was making to the European Union, than the willingness to give up the first leadership of the central bank. It was just natural. We have to learn to share. All over the world today, there is a new uprising of identity politics. Who are we? And should we be defined most by our differences or most by what we have in common? Make no mistake about it, Helmut Kohl loved being German. I made it possible for him on a state visit to the United States to be more German because I took him to Milwaukee, our most German city, to a German immersion school where he spoke German with African American students who spoke it all day, every day in school. He took the position that in an interdependent world, where the borders were looking more like nets than walls, where technology alone made wonderful things possible, but also made us more vulnerable to everything from terror to cyber terrorism, that we had to search for common ground. He loved being German. He tried to get me to eat some things I did not want to eat because he loved being German. He loved being a European. But in his big, highly political, often overbearing, leadership, there was the germ of understanding that the cancers of the 20th century were all born of people who believed domination was better than cooperation. That's why we're all here. All of us old guys that used to be wanted to come back and say, thank you for giving us a chance to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Thank you for giving us a chance to be a little better, to remember that the Polish workers in Gdansk, their lives are as important as ours in the eyes of God. Politics in the end is not about great waves of domination, but about the possibilities of ordinary life for the largest number of people. The richest person in the world will one day lie in a coffin. The most powerful person, whether you kill or preserve life, we're all going home, as they say in the United States and our African American churches. They call meetings like this homegoings. Heimat. No one loved that more than Helmut Kohl. So sleep well, my friends. The greatest gift you left us is the lessons that the thing that matters most in life is what we leave our children. The freedom, the peace, the security. To build their own prosperity, to chase their own dreams, and to believe that they can be very big while lifting up, not tearing down. You did a good job with your life. And those of us who shared it loved you for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.